know you're motivated, organized, that's two of the big things. So, appreciate what you're gonna do.
We need at least one.
We need at least one.
What's your number, Dave?
Yeah, right. One person.
What's your number?
Me? Oh,
Well,
619
just put it out there for everybody.
it's okay.
454 0497.
Thank you, sir.
That's mine now. Mine now.
I said complaint department.
All
Sorry,
right,
my
thanks.
bad.
So after you get done past, signing that, let me have it, Nat, I'll get mine, borrowed and Nat.
Pen writes really nice, by the way.
Yeah, it's new, I hear. I told us not getting it back, probably not. Yeah, so we're gonna open it up with the race views, we're not gonna do them the normal way where we dredge them up for too long. I wanna keep it, short, to the point, we've got a few to cover. The first race was on 127, is the OTB race, the Hare and Hound. Mark, do you have anything to
Yeah,
add to
I
that?
can go back to November if you want. I got November.
127.
Okay, 127, but it was the 24th.
Oh, you know what? Okay,
It doesn't matter, it was in the January.
check my schedule.
But,
Online.
we had 114 bikes and ATVs sign up. Our course was approximately 40 miles first loop, second loop was approximately 27, 28, I think. And we had one major injury at that race. And we had some issues with Firehawk. But overall,
And then, okay, I'm gonna bring this to a screeching halt. There were, issues with Firehawk, but there was also other issues. We're not here to play blame or anything like that.
I wasn't
We're here-
done.
We're here to critique
I wasn't done.
the race.
We, after that race, we got together, I talked to Jason about some ideas and about how we could work better with that group. In this last race, with the UTV race, we did it. We broke a couple guys off. We had one person at the pits that was the focal point to go to if there was any issues. So we worked out a lot of the issues that we had in our January race with communication.
Is that it?
Sorry.
Anybody else have anything, like, you know, they like, with Mark or anything?
Can't remember that part.
Was it Mark? I don't know.
Check 3 was awesome.
Was it check for his awesome, were you there?
I was
All
with you.
day.
No, I never met. I made it there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, that was, I don't remember what check was. Alright, next race was the, February 10th, the I-8 race. Where'd you go?
Steve, I have no information. I don't even remember that far back.
Okay.
It all went good. It's been going good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll,
I know it was a motorcycle and UTV
it
race.
was motorcycles and UTV. We put out a 140 mile course, or 4 laps on 35 mile course. The course was marked well, or at least we felt it was marked well. We had a really good turnout. I think 34 cars, 100, 10, 15 bikes, something like that. So it was a good event. Didn't have any issues with BLM. I did have a car catch on fire. Kind of an unfortunate situation, but that's part of racing.
Were they wearing all their protective gear?
Yes, they
like
were
the
wearing
Renegade?
all their protective gear. They got out of the car.
Literally.
Quickly. I mean, there was Judd was right there, but there was a considerable amount of people around the accident happened. So.
it was right before it checked. It was like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you know, it's just one of those things. I think that race went fairly well. You know, it was a challenge as far as getting the course laid out. We put in 3 solid days of work to get it done.
35 miles is a lot longer than 25 miles.
Yeah.
They did
We-
amazingly. It really is.
We definitely learned that, you know, these, cause we're trying to push our limit on course length or, type of event, so we make it better for the motorcycles and UTVs in the combination. So we've tried the distance thing, and it's challenging to lay that kind of course out. Just FYI, that's 25-mile courses are a lot quicker to do.
We figured out already, like, cause you know, most of the guys in our club, or at least the ones that can do it, we all live in Ocotillo, so there's just no doubt, we're starting on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what, you know, we're just throwing ribbon out or whatever, but it's not a problem, it's just we learned something from it.
Firehawk, we did, you know, really well. Like, we learned a lot from, unfortunately, the failings of Mark of OTP, or the troubles, lessons learned, from those races. You know, so we had a designated person to ride with them to show them where stuff is. You know, we tried to hone down communication, so, you know, we got decent work put out of them that time.
We came up with the mile markers too, the orange mile markers, which I know that Randy is working with Larry Colley, and he's getting those made, donating them to every club. So every club will have them, so we can just go universal with that, every mile. That was one thing at the last race.
We're not there yet, we're not there yet.
Not
Alright.
there.
But you can definitely bring it up.
Alright. Mile markers, very important.
Yeah,
Huh?
they are.
So, I mean, in general, the Sweetheart Kiss was a great race. We're excited to do it again next year.
So I know, are you done?
Yes, Tom?
I don't wanna interrupt again. Yeah, so, there was a little, on the social media afterwards with Haley, you know, after she burned her car down, you know, she was like, oh, nobody stopped and stuff. And, you know, that's what people do after a stressful situation. Don't jump on them particularly. I called her and I talked to some other people, and there were other people that did stop, but there was a lot of people out there, it was right by a check, and they were waved on. You know, but in her, she just got out of a burning car, you know, she doesn't see that. So, you know, just be mindful, try to keep the bad PR to a minimum. Maybe call them and, you know, and find out what's going on in their heads before we jump to conclusions. You know, it's just, afterwards, she called me like about 3 days later, apologized, and said, wow, you know, I was just stressed. I was like, yeah, I probably would have been too. But, you know, you don't always see things when you're jumping out of a car like that, so. It was all good, but that's the only thing I have to add. Does anybody else have anything?
I mean, I was right there. Everybody could have stopped and used their fire extinguishers, but as soon as it tipped over, boom! I mean, instantaneous fire everywhere. The whole thing lit up. There was going to be no putting out that. Even the little fire extinguishers were. Several of us used ours, didn't even touch it. They were throwing dirt on it. It was taking the fire department with foam to put it out. I mean, all the fuel just spilled right out and just set the whole thing on fire. And then the plastic and the magnesium, the aluminum caught on fire, and it was that was it. You know? But they just barely. I mean, as soon as it tipped over, it just started, and they barely got out. Barely got out.
No. Nobody had a second degree burn.
Scary.
I think all the protective gear and everything did their job. I think they got out and acted on it. They did a good job at exiting the main. So, anything else? Anybody? Alright. I would say we'll move on to the Roadrunner race, but nobody's stripping that race. It was the King of the Desert, so if anybody wants to talk about it or have comments about it, I'll take notice.
It was windy.
It was weird.
I heard about it. Like, I was getting text. It was windy. So I figured it was pretty windy.
I mean,
sign up?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dolly was there to help, I helped them. Thomas and family have it pretty tight set up.
Okay. Anything else? Alright. I-8, March 23rd, speed limit 100. You don't remember that one?
Yeah. Not too many issues.
It was windy.
I mean, really,
No.
Speed limit, turnout was a little less than I think it's been tapering off at the end of the year.
that was the
But
same
it
time as
was-
Bob.
we had there was a lot of competing
San
events.
Felipe.
Oh, San Felipe.
Yeah, there was a lot
Yeah.
of competing stuff that weekend, so, probably should have been a little more diligent when we did, time slot selection. So, we talked about it this coming year.
Coming up.
Take a look at the.
Coming up.
I know it is, Rob.
Okay.
Let's see, course, pretty challenging, we did have some penalty stuff we had to deal with. But it is what it is. I don't think we had any accidents, nobody got hurt. I think we had one guy that hurt his leg that had to be transported from the back portion of the course. But, you know, we kinda got Firehawk pretty dialed. I was a little pissed at them because, they didn't have a spare tire for their UTV and got a flat halfway through. So, it's kinda comical at the end. Yeah,
I'll make sure to put you in charge of spare tires.
yeah.
The second half.
Other than that, I think the event went well. We had a good time. I kinda liked, it was cool to be up on the hill, kind of overlooking stuff, you know, different set, we ran a different setup from previous times that we've been accustomed to, but kind of reverse. So it was nice to change it up, good support. Some people say it's too far from the pit, but
Is what it is.
it's what it is. And windy.
And then,
Windy.
Very windy.
It got windy at the end for
Yeah,
sure.
if we could do something about the wind, that'd be great.
It was rainy.
I don't know, they
Locate the
tried
market.
selling it.
You call Mother Nature next time?
Is that it, Skip? So you're eating? Okay. I will say one thing on that race, always, when things go good, I never hear about you guys. When things go wrong, I hear a lot. On that race, I got complaints that somebody was posting at a check and there was drinking going on. And that's highly against the AMA stuff. And, you know, so when you do stuff like drinking a check, perhaps don't post it. Solo cups are great. I'm not there to like be your dad, alright? But, you know, the AMA frowns on that very heavily. So, you know, don't brag about it, okay? Because I get complaints, so do me a favor. Don't post shit like that. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it was those old guys, they don't really know how to use social media well, so.
Look at me.
They were up on that hill, the rock hill,
I wasn't
that altitude, I don't know.
It was their time. It was their moment.
Taking a selfie together.
You know, we used to have more of an issue with that, and than we do now. And I just want to keep it
Yeah, I mean,
so it doesn't become one. Because
we, you know, we have a reputation as our club for doing things along those lines, but we've been policing ourselves the last
yeah,
year and a half or so.
well, I'm not saying it was just saying.
Members of other
It used-
clubs that were participating.
The
in
BLM
our
used to be
events.
really on me about underage drinking and drinking in the pits and drinking here, drinking there. And, you know, to the point where they were just gonna like shut us down. So, those days are long gone, probably 10, 15 years ago is when it was bad, so. I just don't want to get back to that.
I'll have to talk with Sean next time.
Yeah. Well, you know what, the BLM used to troll our social media. They stopped doing that, so,
Block them.
because they would find out so much bad information on us that way, because people would post it. It was just ridiculous.
That's before Elon Musk got Twitter, so.
Twitter wasn't it? Alright, Mark, back to you, the OTB,
Yes, sir.
April 23rd, California 160.
Yes, sir. I think it was the 13th.
Yeah, you know what?
Well, wait a minute. Because today's the 23rd.
But it's May. Maybe that's why sometimes they're big guys today's day. You know what, they did put it up here too, so.
Yeah, we had 44 entries. We had 50 last year, if I remember right, or 51. We had a approximately 40-mile loop. We had some issues on Friday night with the wind, and we sent a couple of crews out. They were out for 2+ hours remarking things because things disappeared. That wind was pretty vicious that night. But I think overall the markings were good. I can't wait to hear about you guys about the mile markers, obviously.
You're first, you're first.
Wait,
Wait, he's done, you're first.
All
Go
right.
ahead, Mark.
But, like I say, we had a couple rollovers that I heard about. There's no injuries that were brought to my attention. And,
What'd that from you guys?
what's that?
I don't know, you said roll over, they started
Well, I
laughing.
just heard there was a couple rollovers.
No, you're
I
not
don't have-
wrong.
I don't have the numbers who rolled, so.
Bob, what's your number?
Doesn't matter.
No,
131. Just so you know.
I didn't,
We're gonna
now I
take
know why
really
you were
work
wrong.
on that.
131 upside down still looks like 131. So somebody told me.
Everything went off well. We had a good plan for Firehawk, and I think we did well.
Are you done?
Jason?
Because it's
So-
Jason's time.
Go ahead.
Very new to racing cars. My second race ever. Being a ribbon chaser, motorcycle rider stuff, so I'm looking. My inclination is not to look at my GPS; it's looking for markers and stuff.
Yeah.
I have to say it was super light on blue cards because there was some stuff that we came up on that was just not. Or if it was on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was absolutely on the thing. There was no 3, 2, 1 or anything like that. It was absolutely on it. And all I saw honestly was a 5-mile marker and a 20-mile marker. So if there was,
I saw it.
and there could have been more, I might have missed them.
I think I hit like 4
So what?
They counted
So
more.
after like Randy, you remember this kid got hurt and they had to do the whole course and whatever. So what we're doing is Larry Colley's, he's getting mile markers made. You've seen it already,
Correct.
the orange ones, and we're handing them out to all the clubs. Mile 1 through 30.
It's in the rules. It's
If you
supposed
guys
to be every month.
please use them. Because that could be an issue, and it has been an issue, to where, Firehawk didn't know where the hell they're at. So they gotta go, you know what I mean, all the way around the course to find the guy at mile 8. Or if we get a report between mile 8 and mile 9, there's guys that can go, hey, we're out by Hot Nuts, or, whatever.
Okay.
They don't know what the hell Hot Nuts is, but we do, so we can tune them in and stuff, so that's something that Randy Egan and Larry is getting on. We're gonna hand them out,
Okay.
so please use them, and
That's every mile?
yeah.
Mark every mile.
My big orange ones, and they're reflective, and
Yeah,
what we do is we go out there with drywall screws, take them up, take them down, you can reuse them. Like I said, just being a ribbon chaser for motorcycles, and I'm no car driver, you guys have seen my results, but I came up on some stuff, I was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? We're rolling, you know what I mean? There was a couple things that,
You're on the brakes.
or like that, wishing I could get on the brakes, or, you know what I mean, like, I mean, it's a great course, got an awesome time. Me and my boy had a great time out there, got our asses kicked, but hey, that's part of it. But that's the only input I have on that course, was the mile markers and some of the markings. And I think like what I would like to see is like we all go to the Caselli thing, and all I had to do was do an email, and they've given us the markers for no charge. Just put their little thing up there
Correct.
for promotion, and they'll give them to us. I mean, pretty much everything you want, and all they do is charge for shipping. It would be nice to see the 3, 2, 1.
And don't forget the video that Kurt made, or
David Cameron.
David,
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that could be used for the bike races.
Yeah,
and
I mean-
not for the UTVs. I don't think they'll
They
sponsor
won't
those
give them to
events.
you.
Well, no, it's the same.
Not the same.
I
It's the
know.
same course.
Yeah.
They don't know.
It's the
Well,
same thing.
No, no, no.
in our situation, we ran a dirt bike race this year without UTVs, and then we ran a UTV race without dirt bikes.
Yeah.
You know.
Alright.
Yeah.
you guys can, alright, if you have a guilty conscience because there's no bikes involved, you can pay for it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
We had markers up.
We had-
so.
yeah, I mean, but you know, I mean, if that's an issue, fine, issue.
No issue.
But awesome race. We had a great time.
I did want to say too,
Yeah.
the checkpoint setup in that was awesome.
Mhm.
That was like the first time in checkpoints, you're like, I know where to slow down,
Mhm.
I know where to
Oh,
go
yeah,
fast, like,
the filing thing.
that thing, that was
Yeah.
clear as day.
I thought they were
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
So that should be everywhere.
yeah.
Absolutely. The pool
Yeah.
noodles helped.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, pool noodles were legit.
Pool noodles. Remember when we knew exactly where to start, where we could take off?
No, we just do that.
Like, check it.
Home check? There's a little sign, it was like this big, handwritten, that said you can zoom race me.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah, at the end of.
I thought you meant coming into it.
No, at the end of pits, it was like,
I went all the way to the right turn first lap because I didn't know when I could get back on the gas.
that was, but other than like that,
Yeah.
the
It was
pits-
pretty small.
That way you only got 3 laps in. I'm just kidding.
I will tell you about that in a minute when everybody else does. Well, yes,
Skip it.
alright, you're up.
You know, we're new here, to racing UTVs, and the mile markers, definitely agree with it, right? We're more from down south, you know, doing that series down there, with BFG and everything. So we're more used to the down arrows. I really like your comment about the blue flags. As a driver, I would like to see just more coming up, cause we were on the brakes pretty heavy as well. That's what brakes are for, that's how we look at it,
Sure.
you know, and then, you know, we were on the brakes so heavy, some of the times we're like, oh my gosh, you know, I remember listening to my co-pilot here, like, crap. So I agree with that, but something, that was kinda interesting, so we're putting mile markers out, guys, but I remember at the drivers meeting, we're like trying to figure out, well, who do we call if we need to call somebody? And there, you know, lots of us have radios or handhelds in our car, but we have no station to call anybody. And it would have been like nice to have like a simple piece of like tape in our car with a number taped in our car to call somebody in case we saw somebody. We all have it and then relay to
Yeah,
somebody.
then the
So-
relay and-
So just a little bit of, if we're gonna do mile markers, let's make sure we have the corresponding VHF number to
Emergency,
call.
yeah.
You know, and that maybe should be part of the safety check, that our radios are working and we can communicate back to base.
Radios are not
Or
mandatory.
they're not mandatory.
They're not mandatory, but obviously.
Cell phone.
I don't know anybody who doesn't have one.
Right.
I
So
think
we're doing mile markers if we need to do the other part of something too.
What I do is, and this way we've done it a lot, because, bikes have smaller radios. You can call your pit and have them, there's always, home check is in contact with, medical people. So, you know, that's your link, I wanna say. You can call in your pit and, you know, they can run down there and be like, alright, mile marker 12, there's a car, you know, this is what's going on.
I got a question. Does every race, do they have a channel that their race team league uses throughout their
Every
everyone?
club has their frequency.
Would we be able to?
To interrupt what's going on in the race?
No.
Is there?
No.
That was brought up with the
That's kind
drivers.
of the dilemma, and
Yeah.
we do have a club frequency that we're communicating from checkpoints and our race staff. And we're also the medical's not listening in, we can go, okay, we need medical at mile marker 10. We're directly to them, and then we can radio our checks or our
We don't have a
staff,
weatherman.
staff on
A
that.
third channel wouldn't be a bad idea for the racers, but
Yeah, that was
we're all
brought
new
up.
to it.
You can, but again, who's gonna monitor it? How
That's
does
what I'm
it get
saying
monitored?
is, it's gotta be.
You know, I mean,
it's
it's-
a whole
it's-
other thing for
obviously
somebody to
the
do.
same-
It's open for negotiation, you know. You would think, but that's not as easy as you say.
Yeah,
Our predecessors, since I've been racing out here in the district, which is a long ass time, they are like, no, we will not do that. We will not have, and then like some of the people want to get on that frequency, and they're trying to do an emergency, and they got racers butting in all the time. So it becomes a thing where traffic becomes the issue. A third one is probably, thanks man. A third station is probably your best option, right? And then getting somebody to man it. And there's ways to go around that, you know, we can get that done, I think. But, you know, it's gonna take some people to say, yeah, we'll do that. That's about as hard as it is, really.
Cause I know that was brought up in the drivers meeting, I think Wayne brought it up, was there needs to be some sort of like common channel that like, cause not everybody has.
I know, Wayne calls me every
He was trying to promote Yokohama, did you not notice that little?
I noticed.
Swan in
I know, I was like,
Yokohama?
you know, like Yokohama or somebody, all right.
So if it seems to me the UTVs, because the motorcycle guys don't really use the radio, so if someone in your pit is willing to take that on, and just everybody can go to that one person, that's great if you can volunteer somebody, because the clubs are already
The
maxed
clubs are
out.
tagged, everybody's tagged, my wife does it, but, you know, we have multiple radios. She does it for me, not for everybody, I call her, she gets them, and it's, you know, it's almost instantly, but, and I don't have to change frequencies, worried about that. That's how I've done it, because I like to get medical out there ASAP.
I can definitely talk to my team.
I'm willing to do it too.
We have trailers, we run, PCI stuff, so I know we'd have to, rugged, we'd have to, you know, find something that works where not everyone has to go download the channel, so.
Yeah, everything has
They've
like.
never had, yeah, the
Like
same
BFG,
channel.
there's like a bunch of common channels out there.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the,
Rugged's definitely the truck.
I'll talk to the team, I know we have an extra radio, so.
We have
Fit like a 55 water, not a,
Yeah.
with big antenna.
With our truck, we have.
Now you're looking at-
Skip straight.
I think
It's just a matter of picking a frequency that we're gonna use.
That's, I think that's the bigger thing, because if we have a bunch of people running common frequencies, because it doesn't matter, if you say, okay, we pick PFG relay, there's probably half a dozen people that are on it. If you're saying, hey, there's a car at mile marker 10 on fire, someone's gonna hear it, you know, so I think it's, even if we just do it as like a UTVs, step up and say, hey, we're all gonna have a common channel for emergencies only.
Yeah. And that's where, yeah, I agree, so if it's weatherman, and I see someone, in my race car, we can turn it.
Half of Mexico's on weatherman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
it's
pretty
the-
close.
Twice a good
Big meetings are
There's
good.
more dead channels than that.
So-
Yeah.
Getting back to Mark's race, we can definitely talk about this later. So, anybody have anything else on that race?
Trophy truck, whoops,
They're awesome.
straight up not fun.
So, I think we saw a couple places, you know, I hear people like, course markers were not good, and, I heard a lot of that, they were too sparse.
That's, yeah, the two, when I saw them, they were great, but they weren't that many.
Yeah, the first right-hand turn where we had the first rollover, I don't know if anybody ever saw any of the 3-2-1 there. It was just, and then after that, I don't know if the rollover took a mile or what, if there was none there. I came by there after my first lap when I went straight because I checked on Seth and he's like, yeah, I did, and I didn't know that the course made a right, so I kept going that way, found the course, got along the, Avenidas, the right-hand turn after that, I was making a pass. I made it clearly, and boy, I checked out on him because he made the right-hand turn, I didn't make that one either. So by the time I got checked two, I'm like, last person on the race course by a long way, and on my way around there, and I was getting lost, so. wasn't a good, start to my day. I got a lot of complaints about that, and I got a complaint about the backside, on the west side, there was one of these, and we all know what it was like straight down. There was 2 cars that were wrecked there with off their front ends because
Oh, yeah.
the lack of blue marks.
That was the only reason we knew it was a hazard, because the cars were parked.
Oh, I know. I was kinda glad I was late to the show. I was like, oh, there's 2 cars, I'm slowing down, something's there. So, but you know, in our racing, we don't wanna take cars out that way. Because it takes, you know, a month to get that car up and running.
Or a year.
The next race,
2.5 weeks later.
you know, it's like, there's a couple cars that are gonna miss the next race.
So
So,
cars break, they're out for the rest of the, however, 2, 3, 4 months.
well,
I mean, I missed from October all
I
the way.
mean, one was it was easily.
Yeah, my car burns down.
Alright, that's it on the races. Wanna report on the sponsorship, and some of you guys know we used to rely on one major sponsor. Vase was our last one, and then we pay a ridiculous amount of money to sponsor us. We switched to minor sponsors and got away from that. The first year did very well, and the second year we're into that now, and I think it's kind of settled down, like some people are like, ooh, I'm gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna get my name out there. And now it's kind of settled down to probably where it will maintain. I think we're at a sustainable level. So, and we're still making more money than we made before. So that's worked out very well. Any comments on that? Like,
Yes.
you wanna sponsor us? Sign her up, Skip.
What
He's like,
I
"All
wanna
right."
know is,
She's already signed up. I already did my work.
that's right. So someone is going out and getting these major or minor sponsors, but they're just cash sponsors. Is that what you're saying?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, okay,
Not all of them.
okay. What else are they doing besides,
Sometimes part of it's donating prizes to the banquet.
okay,
Sometimes they give away gear. I'm flexible. It's like, you know, sometimes, people wanna pay part in money, part in parts. It's like, yeah, whatever, gift certificates, I don't care. It's good for the racer either way.
yep, okay. Thank you.
So, I mean, we do have a, you know, like a tier level, how much you pay is what you get. You know, the more you pay, the more you get. Somebody who gives that would be not on the top tier, but, yeah,
Is there any way to get a copy of that?
I was just about
there is. There sure is. Just send an email to the district and we will shoot you out.
Okay.
You want to sponsor?
No, we're always open to it. I sent you an email.
Alright, the email really doesn't come to me personally, okay? It goes to
Okay,
the
I'll text Kim.
District 38, or you can text it, man. You know she runs this thing.
I do know.
So has anybody got any other comments on sponsoring?
So you have more room for sponsorship?
I have room for 50,000 more people. I will make more pages on our flyers for it. Yeah, totally.
We'll have some people interested.
Yeah. Yeah. But seriously, we do have, you know, the tiers and stuff, and I'm flexible. One guy's, you know, lower budget,